Welcome to this explainer. You know, all across the US right now, backyards are just literally transforming into these amazing mini homesteads. Today, we're putting on our expert breeder hats and stepping right out into the backyard. Whether you're dreaming of waking up to fresh morning eggs or you're looking to raise some seriously robust meat birds, well, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to unlock some closely guarded secrets to raising a high-yield, exceptionally low-cost backyard flock. Yeah, we're talking chickens, ducks, and turkeys, the whole shebang. By the end of this session, I promise you're going to be looking at your backyard and your kitchen in a completely different way.
Okay, let's dive into this because we've all felt that sticker shock of modern farming, right? You go to the local feed store, you look at commercial poultry feed, and the prices just keep going up and up. It kind of makes you wonder, is it even worth raising your own birds? But what if I told you that raising a thriving, heavy, healthy backyard flock didn't require you to be totally dependent on expensive commercial grain? No way, right? Well, today, we're going to explore this expert, natural, zero-waste solution that completely flips the script on traditional backyard homesteading.
To get us there, we're going to cover four main pillars today. First up, early care and incubation. Second, zero-cost natural fattening. Third, maximizing daily egg production. And finally, summer hygiene and disease prevention. All right, let's kick things off with pillar one, early care and incubation. Listen, a flock's long-term success, their immune system, their eventual size, it all relies heavily on a really rigorous, highly controlled foundation during those first few weeks of life. You can't just toss baby birds in a cardboard box and hope for the best. There is a strict protocol for these crucial first days. First off, temperature is literally everything. You've got to maintain a steady 91 degrees Fahrenheit. This is especially vital for delicate young turkey chicks and baby waterfowl. Any sudden drop in temp, total disaster. Second, during this early stage, you actually do want to use a high-quality 23% protein starter feed. This is the one time you don't skimp because that protein builds their frame. And third, introduce greens gradually. Offering finely chopped greens right alongside their starter feed gets them used to foraging. Plus, it provides amazing natural vitamins right out of the gate.
Now, here's a little secret from the pros for you. Baby turkeys aren't exactly the brightest bulbs in the brooder. They actually lack early navigation skills. If you give them way too much space right away, they'll wander away from the heat lamp, get completely confused, fail to find their way back, and literally freeze. You have to keep them confined close to that heat source for the first week or so, just until they figure out their environment.
Now, speaking of hatching, let's talk about getting those chicks in the first place without dropping hundreds of dollars on fancy electronic incubators. Enter the incubator hack. Expert breeders absolutely love to use Indian hens. These specific chickens have incredibly strong maternal instincts. You can actually take turkey eggs or duck eggs, place them right under an Indian hen, and she will faithfully sit on them, regulate their temperature perfectly, and hatch them for you. It's a natural, completely free incubation system. How cool is that? And how long does that whole process take? Exactly 21 days. For 21 days of natural incubation, that dedicated mother hen is going to keep those eggs warm, turning them periodically, right up until you hear that magical peeping sound and the baby chicks emerge, completely healthy and totally ready for the brooder. Moving right along, let's jump into pillar two, zero-cost natural fattening. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how we break away from the commercial system and turn our backyard flocks into highly efficient, sustainable ecosystems. Let's contrast the two approaches. On one hand, you've got the commercial diet. It's expensive, the prices fluctuate like crazy based on global markets, and frankly, a ton of it just gets scratched right out of the feeder and wasted. On the other hand, you have the expert's natural fattening diet. We're talking kitchen scraps, soaked bread, bran, garden greens. This diet isn't just cheaper, it is practically free. And when managed correctly, it produces incredibly healthy birds that reach massive, record-breaking weights. So, what exactly are we feeding them to achieve this zero-cost weight gain? Well, the birds absolutely go crazy for these specific kitchen scraps. Leftover cooked rice? Fantastic for energy. Potato and onion peels, as well as chopped vegetable roots, provide essential carbohydrates and trace minerals. But the ultimate secret weapon for natural fattening? Soaked stale bread mixed with wheat bran. You literally just moisten the bread, sprinkle on the bran to add fiber and protein, and serve it up. Birds fed this way can easily push past 8 pounds, hitting premium meat weights without you spending a single dime on commercial grain during their grow-out phase. I really want you to remember this golden rule of backyard farming. Don't throw it in the trash, feed it to the flock. Seriously, every single time you cook, every time you peel a vegetable, you're generating high-value fuel for your meat birds. By redirecting this waste from your garbage can straight to your chicken coop, you're creating a closed-loop system that saves you money and dramatically reduces your household waste. It's a total win-win. But hey, a quick word of caution here for beginners. Any transition from that high-protein commercial starter feed we talked about earlier over to this natural kitchen scrap diet, it absolutely must be done gradually. If you mix feeds abruptly, you risk causing severe digestive shock in the birds. Just blend the new natural foods into their starter feed a little bit at a time over a week or two so their digestive systems can adjust safely.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Pillar 3, maximizing daily egg production. If you're keeping laying hens or ducks, you don't just want a few eggs here and there, right? You want a consistent daily yield. So here are some rapid-fire expert tips to help you achieve exactly that. First, dim the lights at night. Chickens need a solid period of darkness to rest and reset their biological clocks. Leaving lights on 24/7 is just going to burn them out. Second, reduce environmental stress. That means no chasing them around, no loud, sudden noises. Third, just like we mentioned with the meat birds, avoid sudden feed changes, which can literally halt egg production for weeks. And finally, ensure they have dedicated, quiet nesting boxes lined with fresh straw. If they feel safe and comfortable, they're going to lay consistently.
And just how productive can they actually be? Well, under optimal, low-stress conditions with a really good natural diet, a healthy laying chicken can produce up to 300 eggs a year. That is a phenomenal return on investment, providing your household with a massive amount of high-quality protein. So the crucial point is protecting all this, which brings us to Pillar 4, summer hygiene and disease prevention. The hottest summer months are hands down the most dangerous time for a backyard flock, and you need a rigorous environmental health strategy to get them through it safely and protect all your hard work. Let's walk through this expert summer schedule. It's incredibly straightforward, but highly effective. First up, swap their drinking water twice daily. Second, and this is a big one, lock the birds in the shade from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. every single day. Why? Because the midday sun will cause birds to suffer severe heat stress. They'll actually start burning their own body weight just to stay cool, which undoes all of your natural fattening efforts. And lastly, you absolutely must periodically sweep and disinfect the coop. Let's double-click on that water rule for a second. Stagnant, hot water, sitting out in the sun, breeds bacteria and disease incredibly fast. Simply walking out to the coop and changing the drinking water twice a day during those hot months is a free, simple, and absolutely vital disease prevention tactic. It cools the birds from the inside out and stops viruses right in their tracks. Now, regarding the coop cleaning itself, summer heat combined with moisture creates a perfect breeding ground for harmful pests, fungi, and respiratory irritants. The expert routine requires you to sweep the floors bare, remove any old feed sacks or damp bedding, and sprinkle agricultural lime, often called barn lime, straight across the floor. This naturally dries out the environment and kills off fungi and insects way before they can attach to your birds. You also need to keep a long-term health timeline in mind. At 1 month, they're finishing their starter phase. At 2 months, they're in the heavy grower phase, just eating up all those kitchen scraps. But at 3 months and every few months after that, expert breeders ensure they do routine vaccinations. Even if you have a closed backyard flock, airborne viruses can still arrive, and periodic vaccines are basically a cheap insurance policy for your food supply. One final, extremely vital piece of advice for mixed flocks: isolate for safety. While young chicks of different species can sometimes share a brooder early on, adult turkeys should always be kept in a separate, isolated space from regular chickens. Chickens can carry diseases like blackhead that don't really bother them much but are absolutely devastating to adult turkeys. Separation simply guarantees optimal health across the board for everyone. By mastering these 4 pillars, you're not just raising birds, you're essentially printing your own protein. So take a look at the food you're about to throw away tonight and ask yourself, what is stopping you from turning your kitchen waste into your family's next meal? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy homesteading.